There I am. Howdy, howdy. We are doing something very different today. Because there's a brand new expansion for Crusader Kings 3. And it's very exciting because for the first time, you are able to play as a landless adventurer. So, a few of those guys have special story content, including the notorious, infamous Anglo-Saxon outlaw in exile, Hereward the Wake. Oh, wait, hold on. Let me get rid of starting soon message. There we go. This guy. Exiled and branded an outlaw by Edward the Confessor, Hereward has traveled to Flanders to seek his fame and fortune. Hereward would one day return to England. Oof. We're working on the whole narration thing here. Hereward would one day return to England and lead a determined resistance against the Norman invaders, becoming a folk hero of great renown. Will Hereward remain a notorious villain under your guiding hand, or become the hero he was born to be? Let's find out. At some point, we are going to do a playthrough with El Cid, Rodrigo Diaz de Vivar, and possibly also as Walada bint al Mustakfi. There's also Suleiman of the Seljuks, Hassan Sabah, the who would eventually establish the assassins. That's right. And we'll do a lot. We'll do a lot of adventure stuff. I can foresee that. But for now, we're starting with Hereward the Wake. I have set up the game rules to be a little bit interesting. Sorry, no, it's going to be interesting. Mostly it's default, but there is this thing, Conquerors, which occasionally gives independent rulers with certain traits and personalities a lot of bonuses and different AI setup. So we're also going to give those guys a 5% chance to get the Scourge of the Gods modifier to become even more powerful, because that is a way to give ourselves some extra difficulty if this campaign goes on for a very long time. But let's get started. I have not played any with the new expansion, so I'm looking forward to this. We'll see how long it takes to load in. All right, should be loading in any moment now. Does say 100%. Just gonna awkwardly sit here while we wait for it to load. Yep. Guess I should also relocate so that Holmes is in view. There we go. Of course, the camera's much smaller in the Crusader Kings 3 scene. Definitely taking longer to load in than I would like. I'm sure it's not broken though. Probably just a hardware problem. It'll load. It'll load. This is why I probably should have loaded it up before I started the stream. I thought about it, but I thought, you know what, I want to read out the little intro thing. So, okay, I think it's about to no, maybe not. How's Cam Man's run going here? Let's see. In Brock's gym with a Sharpedo. Does have E-Sense and Thunderbolt, which is a couple of really nice moves. Okay, here we go. Here we go. All right. Right? Yes. Ish. Yes, ish. Ooh. Just needs a little time to get going here. Oof. I need to make some hardware upgrades. Okay. Gonna let it sort of wake up, get everything loaded into memory and uh, you know, first and second level storage or whatever it was called. Okay. Looks like we're doing all right here. Just make sure to load in all the just load in everything. Just load in everything. We don't have to deal with it later when we actually have viewers. You know, take a quick look at everybody, load in the models. Ooh, fancy new digs for the or duds for the Byzantine Emperor. Okay. Now let's take a look at ourselves and what we've got going on here, because there's a lot. There's a lot of new stuff. Ooh, yeah, load the terrain map. Oh, it's gonna be really bad when it becomes winter. It's gonna take some time for that to load the mesh for that over everything else. I need more RAM. I need a lot of upgrades to this PC. Okay. Okay. I feel like now we might be doing okay. Still takes a while to load in character screens, but that's fine. All right. Here we go. So, 18 minutes in. Let's start taking a look at what's new. So first of all, you might notice, don't actually own any land. We have one title. It is the Duchy, the Men of the Fens, which is a camp. And the camp looks something like this. We've got a pavilion. It's the heart of the camp. Cluster of tightly packed tents around the leader's residence. It allows us to have a second officer, the most trusted officer at camp, aiding the leader as next in command. We've got a roaring campfire, which allows us to find more officers using Scout for talent, unlocks the fireside chat intent for the camp revelry activity, lets us have more knights, more men-at-arms. We also have the supply tent, which helps us get more provisions and supply capacity. Oh, these also have internal buildings too. So there's these external buildings, like the pavilion, the roaring campfire, the proving grounds. But within the supply tent, we also have the roaring smithy and the stocked arsenal. So not everything can have an internal upgrade, but everything except for the pavilion looks like. So for the roaring campfire, we could also have some trailing musicians, watering poets, capering fools, libations for the lost, local hangers-on, grand aspirations, nightly debates, juicy rumors. That all sounds interesting. Then at the proving grounds, we have personal bouts, which gives us more, gives us a buff to our heavy infantry, and unlocks the heavy infantry captain officer, which, if they are proficient, will give us even more stuff, even more bonuses to our heavy infantry. So it looks like there's something for horses, camels, elephants, heavy cavalry, archer cavalry, archers, skirmishers, spearmen. The lock wagon increases mercenary contract rewards. Interesting. Martial study makes knights better based on our learning. The stick game. No description. I guess none of these have actually a description. But bonuses for intrigue. And bodyguard drills, which makes us more difficult to scheme against. All right. So that's interesting. What else have we got going on? We have these contracts. So uh, from Duke Baldwin, we have the Protect the Weak contract. So basically, we go over here. I suppose. Oh, we're gonna lose experience in the gallows bait. Oh, okay, yeah. Here's another thing. We have the gallows bait fame trait, which basically means we are a criminal. Specifically, we are a bandit. Meaning, we probably have, done some light raiding and highway robbery, all that kind of stuff. Let's see about our lifestyles. I've heard that there's differences here too. Yeah, it gives us some more stuff. Gives us different perks as landless, and it looks like there's only one lifestyle focus for each category. So for martial, there's only valor, which gives us martial scheme phase length. So when we're doing like martial related contracts, it will go faster. Gives us some more advantage. Gives us better men at arms. So yeah, we're gonna take that. There are 2 criminal contracts available. Ooh. I suppose that's these ones. Burn property and mug wealthy citizenry. Well, that sounds fun. Let's be a criminal, you know? What about our followers? That's what I'm gonna look at here. We have no followers. It is just me and my wife. Ooh, I right clicked and she's not even following us. She's just sitting around in Bruges. You know what? That's fine. What about my brother? He has what appears to be a place of prominence in the court of Suffolk or East Anglia. Well, he'll be fine. All right, let's go commit some crimes. Or maybe we should Let's visit the castle holding. Okay, you got a lot of extra decisions here. You can become a great conqueror. That looks like that's gonna be tough to do. Champion the Anglo-Saxon culture. So, like, if we were... Oh. So if, theoretically, somebody like William the Bastard or Harold Hardrada were to conquer England, as it is Anglo-Saxon, we could go over there and champion the Anglo-Saxon culture and sort of lead a rebellion. That sounds interesting. All right, for now, though, we're just going to go visit the castle holding. Because we do need to find some followers. So let's see if there's any in Bruges. Bruges, the main square. Few places are as majestic as a castle, and Bruges is no exception. Dutch troops and banners are visible everywhere in the city. As we pass through the main gate, I spot a handful of guards peeking out for the embrasures above. Taking in the sights and smells of this place, I quickly find my bearing in this new location. Let's check out the castle. The Bruges castle grounds are, as expected, furnished for martial purposes, with casks of arrows, stray pole weapons, a handsome stable, and the like. The training ground is just outside the gates, and a handful of garrison guards are dawdling around the entrance, either half asleep or polishing their weapons. I purse my lips and ruminatively look around at the organized chaos consisting of knights, guards, men-at-arms, and soldiers. We want to go and recruit. We have no followers, so let's recruit some people. Inside the stuffy garrison, the guards have arranged a fighting ring to hone their skills. 2 of them are currently using it, jabbing at each other all the while cheered on by a handful of onlookers. I observe their training for a bit, and it's clear that Walter, the first guard, is significantly more experienced than Whiston, the second guard. As they finish up, I gingerly approach the ring, and they shift their focus to me. So Walter is Dutch, 18 martial, 10 prowess. While Whiston is Anglo-Saxon and quick, and does have 10 prowess too, so... You know what? Whiston, you... That's a lot of gold. I'm sorry, that's a lot of gold. You guys fancy a round of dice? I lose. What about the local training grounds, huh? And I tell you, things have been going south around here for ages, the local master of arms Kiyomi snorts, then continues. The incessant looking over my shoulder, questioning my... He falls quiet as I approach the range. Instinctively, I check out the plethora of equipment and training obstacles, doing my best to ignore Kiyomi's defiant look. Oh, an Ashkenazi Jew in Bruges. I would have to pay to become our master of arms. Yeah, you know what? We don't really have the funds for all that. You know what? Let's head back. What about the tavern? The tavern, gathering travelers and local Dutch alike, is brimming with activity. A storyteller is seated by the fire a bit further in, and up front, a gathering of shabby chums are pestering the server for more spiced wine. By the entrance, I spot an inconspicuous hooded figure, certainly someone who values their privacy. So we could visit the local storyteller, we could look to recruit local talent, or engage with the mysterious character. Well, how could I not engage with the mysterious character? The hooded figure suddenly slips through the tavern and down a stairwell into the cellar. I look around gingerly as I follow him downstairs. At the bottom, he sits down by a chair fronted by a desk and lets the hood fall. I assume you recognize me by my reputation, the conniving and buck-toothed criminal Hendrik. I have tenderized people for slighter insults. Now what do you want? Hendrik's gaze fixates on me as he raises an inquisitive eyebrow. Wow, that is a lot of intrigue. Ooh, 80 to recruit. I could try and convince him. 1% chance of success. Or I could try and get some points in Trickster by paying him. You know what? 1% chance. Let's take it. Not interested. Okay. Yeah, who's up for recruitment? So we've got Elazar, another Ashkenazi. We've got Edouard, the Frenchman. Ibai, another Ashkenazi. But you guys are expensive. Edward, you're free? Come along. You seem like my new buddy. Alright, now what about Storyteller? And in spite of Kang's warning, the humans made a fire in the growing darkness, and the animals fled to the hills. But that story is for another time. The storyteller gives me a mysterious smile, leans back in his fireplace seat, and takes another sip of spiced wine. Okay, we could try and learn from the story. We could pay to get the Hostiliter trait and some experience in wit. We could just lose stress. Let's try to learn. Let's try to learn. Gained 100 stewardship lifestyle experience. All right, we're done here. Is there anything else? Supplies, town crier. What can we do with supplies? I see. So, from carrots to fabrics, firewood to sewing thread, supply merchant Bela has it all. The stall is filled to the brim with whatever one might need for a night in the woods. I move a bit closer to draw her attention, and she lights up as she looks at me with a friendly smile. What'd you need? Let's threaten her. Hey, we got some supplies. Alright, what about the town crier? Oh, by the way, we didn't read this. Returning to the other half of the main square, a couple of mixed breed dogs are running around, fighting over a pretty significantly sized animal bone. It is warm, though not the peak heat that is typical for this region. The workers and nobles move about their daily lives, enjoying the soothing temperature. The town crier perks up as I approach, incessantly chattering about nearby contracts posted by local nobles. He is accompanied by a friendly, shifting white and brownish-gray old cat who looks at me with the clearest blue eyes as I intently listen to the narrated listings. Acknowledged stewards needed for organizational assignments. Discreet experts required for lucrative opportunities. Learned custodians required for scholarly work. I am up for some lucrative opportunities. Alright, that'll reveal 2 more criminal contracts. You know what? I think we're done here. Back to camp. So what have we got? Protect the innocent? Nah, that's not us. Murder foe. So, Countess Rashield wants us to murder somebody. How's our intrigue? It's not great. It's not great. We are more of a prowess person. We can use prowess for this. Burn property. Okay. There's also mug wealthy citizenry. Ah. That sounds fun too. Alright, we're going to start off with burning property. That's closer. So, we have to travel to a certain location and commit arson. Alright. Incendiary talk. The letter from Count Robert was illuminating. He seems incandescent with rage over some petty slight from Charles, real or imagined, and eager to put the man in his place, but not yet prepared to spill too much blood. The Count's plan is to have us set fire to some lesser property that Charles is involved with, or else reduce it in whatever way feels suitable. Indulging the request will no doubt inflame tensions, but a job's a job. You know what? We'll just go as one. We don't have a huge camp, so this should be fairly straightforward. All right, let's get moving. Is there anything that this guy would be good at? His decent stewardship. He's got a little bit of prowess. Would be a decent caravan master. I don't want to make him my second. He's really not qualified for that. Average quartermaster, average armorer, average stooge, average, just generally an average person. That checks out. Most of his stats are average or poor. You know what? We'll go ahead and make him our caravan master. So we'll move it a little bit faster with the caravan master. News from the island. My father was a stern man. With the benefit of years, now I can see my indiscretions towards him were taking in the humor they deserve. His appeal to King Edward was heated, so I found myself here in Bruges doing dirty work for Duke Baldwin. But it has been long years, and England finds itself in flux. King Edward is dead, King Harold has seized the throne, and his enemies, Duke William and King Haraldr, plot his downfall. I merely hope that whatever turmoil the coming days brings stays clear of my family and our lands. I'll keep an eye on the situation. I've become aware of foreign affairs for 5 years, giving me more diplomacy, travel speed, provisions capacity. Or I could just say, my destiny does not lie in England. No, we'll keep an eye on the situation. We are moving a bit slower than I expected. It was 5 days. That's actually not that long. The game's just moving slowly, which is strange. Not used to that. Incendiary talk, Lille. Lille seems a pleasant place. A shame to visit it under such unpleasant circumstances. Close to nightfall, a small band of my followers and I, which I suppose just consists of me and Edward, await in the shadows not too far from our target. A humble wayside church to the Catholic faith, clearly recently and lovingly built. Count Robert didn't see fit to explain whether his victim, Charles, owned the place, or had interest there, or merely held some affection for it. Soon enough, it won't matter either way. Oh, we do have 501 soldiers. Okay, we're not actually just 2 people. Okay. Could try to do it the sneaky way. Or, you know, the fun way. Axes at the ready. Let's get bloody. A good plan begets swift victory, and the desecrated church burning lazily by the roadside offers ample proof of that. Leading the fighting myself, and my followers and I make work of those unlucky enough to find themselves inside, cutting them down without thought or mercy. We leave the bodies where they fall, tossing out firebrands into the likeliest spots and piling flammables onto the resulting blazes. Messy work, but effective. Count Robert will doubtless be more than happy to hand over our pay. A worthy victory merits a fat purse, 126 gold. Alright. Let's see. Next up, let's go mug some wealthy citizenry. Excuse me, that's an annoying amount of stuttering there. Oh, I think it's taking care of itself. Alright, back alley robbery. The notice is that Count Herbert has hold truer than expected. Marl seems to be experiencing a barrage of petty crime. Even just making our way into the city, we are able to count a dozen pickpocketings and one outright mugging. Far too much work for the beleaguered householders of the Count to deal with. An absolutely perfect environment for enterprising freebooters like ourselves to make a little coin. Yeah, we're here to earn. Let's increase our success chance. So, this is the new scheme system that came out with this update. So, what we're able to do is have agents that will do specific things. Like, we could have a thug. Benefits from certain traits, like wrathful and callous, suffers from calm and compassionate, requires prowess and intrigue. Okay. Outcasts, benefits from shy and humble, suffers from gregarious and ambitious. Requires intrigue and diplomacy. Alright, so what would our man Edward be good at? So Edward is stubborn, cynical, and chaste, has good prowess, and almost decent intrigue. Looks like what he'd be best at is being a thug. So, yeah. So success chance right now is very, very low. But as we spend time here, that will increase. So we can also do countermeasures. So let's see. Bounties for whispers, photos on subtle secrecy at the reduction of cost of reputation, minus 15% secrecy for all opposing schemes. Well, that doesn't seem good. It should be higher, right? Okay. Arbitrary arrests. Oh, these would all be okay, so these are not involving this scheme. These are just general countermeasures against schemes against us. All right. Well, we don't need to do any of that stuff. All right. So, all right, let's spend some time here. Destiny. I turned the... Oh, yeah, it looks like Kingdom of England has been conquered by one William, now the Conqueror, rather than the Bastard. I turned the letter over in my hands, feeling its rough exterior, the wax seal, and the crest stamped upon it. The crest of Oslac, my house. I slice the seal open and begin reading. The news is grim indeed. My brother Ordgar lives, and indeed it is his hand that wrote this missive, but the rumors coming from Normandy prove to be true. Harold of Godwin has been forcefully deposed, now either dead or in hiding. Dead. Duke William, the bastard pretender to the English throne, is now King William of England. He has already begun to hand out parcels of land to his followers, wresting them away from the grasp of the defeated Anglo-Saxons. My brother pleads for help. I will not desert my family in their hour of need. We'll abandon this contract. And we'll begin traveling to Ely in Cambridgeshire. So I think now why can we request this from you? Is it because you're on our, oh wait, we have a, let's see, how does this work? Could have sworn there was a thing for patrons. Where's that? Memories, barbershop, inventory. Well, we'll figure it out at some point. Sickness in the herd. There's no two ways about it. Whether it's from weather to rain, overloading, or simple bad luck, some malady has gotten into the camp's pack animals. They moan, they bray, they walk, but it's all growing slower and more sluggish by the hour, never mind the day. Some of the horses have clear fevers, and one of the older mules looks ready to die. A dire threat if it spreads any further. We are not smart enough, but perhaps we could distribute our gear until they recover. Yeah. We ease the burden, we ease the suffering. I guess we're gonna increase our Huskarls. Yeah, we can afford that. We can afford that. Alright, so we've made it to Cambridgeshire. Home sweet home. The moment I step foot inside my old family grounds, I know something is wrong. A misshapen lump appears through the fog, a thin pole rising above it. One more step forward and my brother Ordgar's head is perched on the top of a stake, the rest of his body in a crumpled, blood-spattered heap below it. Who are you? The voice, in an accent I don't recognize, startles me. I turn to see a man cleaning bloodstains off the weapon in his hands. eyebrow raised at my presence. If you're here for the body, I'm not paying you to take it. I look back down at my brother's broken, twisted body. Yeah, you're gonna die. You're gonna die now, Frederick de Warren. Alright, a duel. For a few brief moments, Frederick and I pace in lazy half circles, each watching for an opening. I heft my sword, ready to defend myself, while he clutches his sword firmly to hand. Only one of us is walking away from here today, and I intend it to be me. With a sudden twitch, our bout begins. Unexpectedly, Frederick manages to swing a vicious kick for my shin, momentarily hobbling me. Well, nice try, but I am the fastest blade in England. A series of flashy, expert moves ensures my dueling prowess will be talked about for years. In battle, I am an artist. Every strike is a brushstroke, every fallen foe or gout of blood a splash of paint. As I brandish my sword, switching seamlessly between flourish and strike, I paint a picture of agony across my foe. Frederick stays stock still, seemingly hoping I'll just throw down my sword. My form is good, with only small errors, and Frederick's stance is failing. I have my opponent on the back foot, but still need to consolidate my victory. Strike, parry, riposte. Throw out a flurry of rapid attacks and counters. I leap into action, launching a flurry of quick slashes, driving myself hard against Frederick's guard, wearing him down with each expertly timed strike. Liberty over vengeance, scum! Screams my opponent, whirling his sword furiously at, around, and near me. My form is excellent, with little chance for mistake, and Frederick's stance is a disaster. I am the fastest blade in England. Well aware that he is utterly outmatched, Frederick hurls himself at me bodily, forcing me backwards with all the desperation of the doomed. We are now evenly matched? Excuse me? My sword arm moves as fast as lightning, strikes as hard as sundered stone. Honestly, it's admirable that Frederick is able to withstand as many sword blows as he does as I rain down on him with all the fury of a thunderous storm. It takes a minute or two, but I eventually beat him into a bloody, twisted, screaming heap. Only when I'm satisfied there will be no last-second chance for revenge do I administer the killing blow. Goodbye, Frederick. Oh, I didn't even notice I had this lifestyle trait. Pity young Hereward, the exiled noble, a man without a purpose, a listless drifter, so much potential, left so unfulfilled. Okay, this trait is leveled by defeating characters of Norman culture in battle or in duels. That's interesting. Okay. I step dismissively over Frederick's twitching carcass, returning to Ordgar's body. In time, there will be a grave dug, a service held, a ceremony to remember his cruelly short life. For now, the evening turns to night, and I sit and reminisce. He was a peaceful man. It wasn't fair that someone who only wanted to live their life unharmed should have suffered such a fate. Unbidden, a realization springs to mind. Normans. He would be alive if not for them. There will be 1,000 brothers, 1,000 sisters, 1,000 fathers and mothers and sons and daughters all across the land, all dying tonight, all due to those damned Normans. I could lose stress and gain experience in the exile trait, or I could get some gold. I'm gonna go with the experience. That sounds more fun. Me and William de Warren. Well, he's a nemesis. He's dead, though. So. Wait, no, he's still alive. Okay. I will avenge you, brother. This I promise. Okay, in that case... What do we do? So who have we got here? We've got William the Conqueror, of course. We also have still some Anglo-Saxon rulers. Duke Edwin. And then Duke Morcar of Northumbria. Okay, so it's Mercia and Northumbria are still Anglo-Saxon, as is Northamptonshire. He doesn't seem to care for me. Nor does he seem to care for King William the Bastard, but hey, he likes him more than he likes me, oddly enough. Well, I don't want to piss off the other Anglo-Saxons. No, I want to deal with the Normans. So, you know what? Let's go... Let's go scam Mayor Heimo. That's like a diplomacy scheme. We have no diplomacy. That's really not a good idea. What else can we do? You know what? Let's see what we can find out in the world. Let's start let's travel over to Leicester. Or, you know what, maybe just over to Huntingdonshire. Or heck, just over to Cambridge. Yeah. Let's go there. Cost a few provisions, no big deal. Although, Hertford itself seems to, or Cambridge itself seems to be pretty dangerous. Well, I'm sure we'll be fine. We do need to recruit a lot of knights. Alright, so, while we're here, let's go ahead and visit the castle holding. Yeah. Few places are as majestic as the castle. Yeah, let's go ahead and go into the castle itself. The training ground is just outside of the gates. The garrison has a handful of guards dawdling around, and down the street I spot a gathering of scruffy and demoralized Anglo-Saxon combatants. Edward looks around contemplatively, then ponders the robust banner depicting the Dew coat of arms, gently swaying in the wind. Yeah, what's up with the scruffy Anglo-Saxon soldiers? The tent camp at the edge of Cambridge is filled to the brim with combatants and soldiers, big and small, of various different cultures, but mainly Anglo-Saxons. They are gathered in groups, most of them scowling and looking around, as if searching for a way out of their misery. I keep going until I find an imposing man who has just finished yelling at a couple of scarred combatants, and he eyes me suspiciously. This guy's a dumbass. We could reinforce one of my men-at-arms regiments. Well, we only have the one. We'll just we don't need to do that. We can use my prestige. Oh, that only refilled. Okay, so the regiment is the 100, not the full group. Uh, yeah. Let's check out the local training grounds. An Anglo-Saxon, very intelligent dwarf, witch, seducer, but not a master of arms, certainly. No, not you. Not you. What about able-bodied to the garrison? These guys are both... Wait. 6 red. He is stupid. But he does have some prowess. But that's expensive. That's expensive for somebody that is really not that good. Alright, well. Yeah, what about something... Transport? Transport seems simple enough. Yeah. Supply stalls, yeah, let's just intimidate him. Success. And look, what's the tavern? Try and learn something from the story about the kneaded clay covered with skin filled with blood and Tor named him Batsy. Okay. Exotic learning. Wow, that's a lot of additional learning, huh? Wow. Okay. What about recruitment? So there's Ulstan. Ooh, he's pretty good. There is Lefoiru, who is very good at stewardship. And then the brilliant, wise woman, Leha of Leicester, who would be free to bring along. You know what? Sure. All right. What would she be good at with all that learning? Obviously, she would be an excellent physician, which we kind of need. She would also be an excellent armorer. Can she do 2 things? Yes. Okay. All right, so you want me to explore somewhere. Or you want to go somewhere. You know what? Sure, we'll... How distant are we talking? Paris? Yeah, I can take you to Paris. We'll be back soon. Ooh, that is pretty dangerous. We'll scout for talent on the way. Maybe not. We will pass through London and Canterbury. see how this goes. Danger. This is fine. Traveling through the sometimes harsh environments has invigorating effects on at least my state of mind. As I glance over at Reeve Onlaf, however, he does not appear to be doing quite as well. His movement is labored, his breathing heavy, and spontaneous bursts of coughing ripple through his body. Clearly, he is not well. Bleha, you're a genius. Can you treat him? Yes, very easily. Flawed fare. Edward is in charge of our food supplies, and sheepishly revealed our provisions are now all but useless, having been poorly stored. Patches of mold cover the bread and produce, and we have quickly used up our remaining dried food. The party grows hungry as dusk begins to fall. Look, I'm sure we can forage. We've got Bleha to look around. What's the worst that could happen? We die? Well, we didn't die. Bitten by frost. It's been snowing for the past few days, and the cold is unbearable. I look around and see that my entourage is struggling with it as well, so I decide to travel on foot alongside them. After we walk through the snowstorm for another hour, Riva Onlef pulls me aside. While shaking, he yelps. Please, my acquaintance. I cannot feel my finger anymore. He tries to make a fist, but the pain is too strong. His finger is swollen and turned into all shades of blue and black. I'm sure that Bleha knows how to treat it, of course, right? Yeah. All right. Back in the bogs. It has been too many years since I last stepped foot on these lands. A step not taken heavily, either, for good reason. Even now, the marshy soil sucks at my boots. These lands, my home, have been called the Fens for many generations now. The fertile marshal... Oh, we'll read that in a moment. Indeed, the waters rise so highly in the parts that Eli itself is technically an isle. There is no time to waste. Even now that Norman Kerr tightens his grip around good Anglo-Saxon land, to provide any resistance at all, we will need those twin lifebloods of any warfare. Money and men. So we could loot the holding of Eli, or Eli. Or look for a local knight. Ooh, yeah. Yeah. You seem very good, actually. How competent would you be as a caravan master? You'd be good. You'd be better. What about as my second? Just average. As my master of arms, you'd be good. Yeah, I'm going to make you my master of arms. Master of arms, yes. Friendly clamor. It's tough to describe what's so appealingly intimate about the low buzz of a camp settling in for the evening. Maybe it's the swapping of grisly tales outside the tents of friends, enthusiasm that comes with camping under an open sky, or even the humming along to myself. Even the somebody humming along to himself as he walks past. All of this forms a quiet, comforting blanket of familiarity. This is my domain, and these are my people. A small kingdom, but one where I know every sight, sound, and soul. We're going to go up with Nightly Drill. Sticks in the wheel. Brooke! I hear Ablea shout out in panic. Soon thereafter, I hear a loud cracking sound, like that of wood breaking or of my patience finally snapping. I step out on the mud to see the splintered remains of a wagon wheel. My wagon wheel. I'm sorry, my liege. It was my turn as lookout, and I fell asleep at the reins. I'll just ride rough. This is fine. A knight errant. It is known that the people of Amiens seem to profess a special devotion toward their knights and their legends. My lord, the knight says, bowing his head, it is most fortunate that you and I came to meet at this crossroads, for I am in search of a marvelous fountain which water is said to cure, which is said to cure all illnesses. If you were to help me in my quest, I shall pay homage to you. Yeah, sure. Let's go. The knight leads us to a small clearing where a natural fountain glimmers. The light reflects on its surface with a blissful shimmer, and it makes the water look so bright that it feels like a second sun. Careful! A beast! A guardian! The knight points at a stag standing between us and the fountain. Yeah, we could definitely use some, yeah, this guy is really good at martial. We're gonna try and bring him along. The beast wounds me. Healing water's destroyed. But our wound is successfully treated by our very excellent physician. And now we get to appoint Bouchard as our heavy infantry captain. Alright, transport contract eager explorer. We have found ourselves at last in the farmlands of the barony of Paris, Reeve Onlaff of Kidderminster's destination. I wasn't quite sure I'd make it, gasps Onlaff. But you've been a steady guide through every peril. Thank you. Your pay is well earned, and you must admit, Ile-de-France is astounding. Alright. Good money. Goodbye. Going back up to, Cambridge. Six in the wheel again. This time it's Bouchard's fault. Just, we'll be fine. Okay, we're back. So, what do we do now? Not really a huge fan of these contracts. These are mostly targeting the people that we want on our side.